Hello and welcome back to WorldQuill. It's time for an instructional video. If you speak a language, which you probably do, you may have noticed that different people pronounce the language's words in different ways, and that difference often depends on where they're from and what their native language is. For example, in New Orleans and most of the South, someone would pronounce the sentence "I'm a goat" as "I'm a goat." In New York City, it would be more like "I'm a goat." And in Canada, something more like "I'm a goat." To add depth to your world, you should try to flesh out accents for all of your conlangs. How would you do that? Well, accents are created through sound change, just like language families. In fact, the only things preventing different dialects from being considered different languages are 1. Social constructs such as the English language, and 2. The fact that they're still closely enough related to be considered one language. As an example, let's look at this quick map I made. I know I have some great artistic skills. Now, the language spoken in this area has these consonant and these vowel phonemes. This is a pretty straightforward inventory, not much going on. Now, let's mess it up. Let's say that this area merges the aspirated stops with their voiceless counterpart. Instead of going in and defining a set of changes for each little area, it's best to think in terms of features and where. It's usually, though, not such a one-to-one binary with these sound changes, so this might look something more like this. As you can see, the sound change has just begun on the northeastern coast, and is complete on the island chain and in the south, and everywhere else it's just somewhere in the middle. We should also consider the economics of the area. If the mainland and the island engaged in trade, then the sound change might have spread to major port cities on the mainland, so the map really should look something more like this. Next, vowels are one of the most mutable, if not the most mutable, aspect of phonology, so we should probably mess with those a bit. For example, the vowel a might be pronounced as or depending on the region. I've assigned each of these a color for our map. The distribution of these might look something like this. It would be a pretty tedious process to sum up the changes for each and every one of the vowels, and some of them might not even change that much. However, diphthongs are extremely likely to change, so be sure to manipulate those a bit. This sort of variation can also happen with consonants. Perhaps the post-alveolars are pronounced as palatals on the island chain. Notice that the fricatives remain sibilant. They're sha and ja instead of becoming the non-sibilant typical palatal fricatives sha and ya. Remember, one feature at a time. And that's all for now. I'm going to continue this series because this video is getting a lot longer than I expected and there's still so much more to cover. But for now, stay tuned, be happy, and thanks for watching. I wanted to do cool outro music, but I don't know enough about YouTube to do that.